Welcome back to Wall Again, where passion meets music, and we are only on the 9th of January, and we already have one of the most anticipated rock metal releases of 2026. I am, of course, talking about Alter Bridge's self-titled album, which was released today. Hard to believe it's actually their 8th studio album, but this band have been knocking it out of the park since they formed in the early 2000s. So I'm going to do a quick review of the album, and then I would like you to leave your comments below and let me know what you think of the album and what your favourite tracks are. Okay, so I'm just going to read a quick review of the album here, and then I'll get into my thoughts. So, towering riffs come to them as easy as dreaming does to the rest of us. Can't disagree with that. Alter Bridge are at their most Alter Bridge on the unwavering, confident Alter Bridge. It's more of the same on Alter Bridge's self-titled 8th album, but who's complaining when they're saying, is this good? Definitely have to agree with that. They've got Michael Elvis Basquet in again to produce this album. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th album he's done with the band, and the production is absolutely excellent, as you would expect from Michael Basquet, and as you would expect from Alter Bridge. The sounds are really clear, the guitars sound really, really nice and crunchy, but also melodic. Nice use of panning between Mark Tremonti's and Miles Kennedy's guitars. There's solo spots for both guys in the whole album, and they really make good use of heavy parts to nice melodic light parts. So it's really good mix and a really good production on this album. Also to say, the rhythm section sounds amazing on this album. Yet again, we have Scott Marshall on bass and Brian Phillips, Flip as he's also known, on drums. But the low end on this album really sounds powerful. I listened today with headphones on. Granted, it's only Spotify, but still, you still get to appreciate that whole dynamic range and the power of the low end in these songs. It really is a metal album, but there's something in here for rock fans as well. If you like, guitar solos, melodic sections, nice slow parts, but also the heavy punching riffs that we know from Alter Bridge, you're going to love this album. It kind of picks off where their last album left off in 2022, Pawns and Kings. I thought it was quite a strong outfit, but it was a bit on the heavy side for me. This is a little bit different. This one's got heavy parts, but it's also got light parts. And I think that's the magic formula when it comes to rock and metal for me. If it's all go, heavy, sometimes the albums don't breathe. And sometimes we need these albums to breathe. We need to be able to hear what these musicians can do when the music is a bit lighter. Now, I was a massive fan of the first 2 Alter Bridge albums, One Day Remains and, of course, Blackboard. I think these 2 albums were probably their strongest material, along with AB3. And the reason I like Blackbird so much is because of all of that melodic and harmonizing guitar work from both guitar players, as well as the clean passages and the big rock riffs and rock hooks that we get on that album. This album harks back to those days. There is a lot of stuff that's melodic and light, but as I said, there is enough to keep the metal fans interested in this one as well. Really hits heavy, and I think it's going to be an amazing album live. They're currently planning to go out on tour in Europe. They're coming to Dublin in late February. I'm hoping to snag a ticket. Haven't got one yet, but that will be my 3rd time seeing Alter Bridge if I do manage to get to that gig. So looking forward to that. But let's run into some of the tracks that really stood out for me on this album. So it's an hour long, which is quite long for albums these days, because if you're picking that up on vinyl, it means either it's going to be on 2 vinyl records, so 3 sides essentially. I don't know what they're going to do with the 4th side. But if they do put it onto 1 vinyl record, they're going to have to squash that down to fit on 2 sides of vinyl, 1 record. And the problem with that is it's going to compromise the quality of the overall sound and production, particularly on the low end. And I think that might be an issue for the band and for this album, because when you think about this album and this band, they really love to, write and play heavy material. That's what Alter Bridge are all about. And I think they will suffer if they try to cram this onto 1 vinyl record. However, if they do it over 2 vinyl records, it might be fine. But obviously, because it's a double album, then the price goes up. And I don't think this has been marketed as a double album. I think it's just been marketed as a single album. An hour is perfect for CD. That's going to sound absolutely fine. Obviously, for Spotify, it makes no difference. But when we're talking about vinyl, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Because I've noticed actually a lot of the albums that were released on CD in the 1990s, some of the Pearl Jam stuff, some of the Queens of the Stone Age stuff like that, when you go and buy that on vinyl, it's 2 discs. and it can be a bit of a challenge because it's not a full 2 discs, it's not a full 80 minutes of an album, as a double album would have been back in the 1980s or 70s, say. But it's actually maybe, 60, 70 minutes of music, and they're trying to put that onto vinyl. So you're getting, as I said, that final disc or that second disc on vinyl blank on the second side. Or they put some live stuff or some rarities or some deep cuts or B-sides on there to try and fill up the space, which I don't think is ideal because you nearly get too much music coming at you. This album is long, 1 hour is long. It does take a long time to listen through to the album a number of times, and I noticed that when I was listening to this album. I prefer my albums to be sitting around the 40-minute mark. That's a sweet spot for me, in my opinion. But yeah, it starts off strong. We've got 3 amazing tracks to start this album off. Silent Divide is amazing, Rue de Day, and I was really, really impressed with Power Down. I think that's an amazing song, particularly the guitar work from both guitar players in this, Myles Kennedy and Mark Tremonti. And a lot of people don't realise Mark Tremonti played all the guitars on the first Alter Bridge album, but after that Myles Kennedy came in and played guitars on every single album since that, and in fact he gets a lot of guitar solos in these songs, most notably Blackbird, the title track from their second studio album. So I was interested to see how much Myles will play on this album, and he gets spots all over. He's got lead guitar, he's got rhythm guitar, he's co-wrote a lot of songs along with Mark, so it's as you would expect, back to the formula that Alter Bridge have been using for the last few years. Other highlights on this album for me: What Lies Beneath, that's a great song, and also Playing Aces. 12 songs in total, and it definitely doesn't disappoint. If you're an Alter Bridge fan, you're going to love this album. But let me know in the comments below, what was your favourite song on the album? Give me even a ranking, your top 3. Are you planning to pick up this song, or this album should I say, on vinyl or in CD? Are you just planning to stream it? Maybe you're looking to find a cassette of it, I don't know. I'm not sure how widely it is or how widely available it is out there in the wild in record stores and music stores. So I would love to hear from people in the comments below if you've picked up a physical copy of this new album from Alter Bridge. Please let me know in the comments below and let me know what format it's in, i.e. if it's in vinyl, is it over 2 discs or 2 records, or what way is it split up? I would love to hear from you. If you liked the video, stick a like on it, and if you could also subscribe, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye for now.